the Lakers and the Grizzlies going at it. LA favored on the road to go up 2-0 against an undermanned Memphis team. And all the pundits told me that the Grizzlies were done. Ja Morant not playing with a bad wrist. So all the Lakers had to do was show up and they would win the game. And perhaps you saw what happened. Well, that didn't happen. If you watched it, you know that didn't happen. Someone named Xavier Tillman, we don't even know who that is, but he had 22 points. And the Grizzlies, led by as many as 20. They led by as many as 20, and they beat the big, bad, phony Lakers 103-93 in this playoff game. So I've got Pitchman, Hillbilly Hobo, and Martini Mix. Yeah, and we'll combine all of these things together. And we're going to make some nice barbecue, the kind of barbecue you get there on Beale Street. So, this was, from Memphis' perspective, it was wonderful. It was marvelous, but we're talking about the Lakers, the better story in the losing locker room. This was a wretched performance by the Lakers. I loved it. Boy, it was great to watch. I mean, it was, what you talk about, popping bubbles. Pop goes the bubble. Miserable from start to finish. A humbling experience. The Lakers, they briefly had the lead early. Their last lead was 7-6 at the 8:02 mark. I wrote it down at the 8:02 mark of the first quarter, which means Memphis would never trail again over the final 40 minutes of a 48-minute NBA game. And when you look to cut up the blame pie, you want to play the blame pie game, we got to start with the headliners here. You look first at street clothes. We start with that. Anthony Davis, he picked up a new endorsement deal. AD now a pitchman for pajamagrams, as he was wearing pajamas, sleepwalking out there. Davis could have feasted on the Grizzlies. Instead, he played passive. He looked like someone had spiked his Gatorade there with some tranquilizers. And man, was that just, was stuck on cruise control all night. Memphis taking advantage of that. How bad was it? AD, he finished with 13 points, 4 of 14 floor, 9 rebounds. But when the Grizzlies were building up the lead that they would never give back, Anthony Davis was 1 of 9 to begin the game. And at that point, it was a 20-point lead. And then at the end of the game, he made 3 of his final 5 shots when the game was already decided. And then you look at D'Angelo Russell, playoff D'Angelo. I hope the Lakers sign this guy to a lifetime contract. This guy disappears in big games. He's done it his entire career. Not that he's been in many big games, but the Lakers, they had to sign this guy to a max extension, as he was, the word is flaccid in this game. 5 points, 2 of 11. That's the big pickup. That's the guy they had to get, D'Angelo Russell, 2 of 11. And you look at the guy they got rid of. They dumped the great Russell Westbrook, the vampire, who's clearly outplayed D'Angelo Russell so far in these playoffs. I know they're not playing each other, but still, D'Angelo Russell wobbly. It's like a wobbly table where you got 3 legs and then that 4th leg just kind of is a little unsteady. Now, page 2 here. What happened to the supporting actors for the Lakers? LeBron James had said the Lakers won game 1 because of the supporting actors, admitting that he did not do his job. By the way, he didn't really do his job in this game either when the game was in the balance. But extreme outcomes are followed by more moderate ones, and so we expected this, and we did see it, a regression to the mean. And you look at some of these guys who completely didn't show up. Dennis Schroeder, somebody named Troy Brown Jr., we're not sure who that is. Malik Beasley, that was another big Laker pickup. You had Hillbilly Kobe, who played more like Hillbilly Hobo. In this game, Austin Reeves, a very subdued 12 points. And there was just a general malaise over the Lakers. You know what they look like to me? My thorough minutes-long investigation watching this, they played like a team that was entitled. Like they were just, all they had to do was collect the win, show up, you get the win, that's it. Grizzlies were going to get in the fetal position and start sucking their thumb. In LeBron James, we mentioned LeBron James, he had a bit of a deceptive stat line also. He never was able to control the game. Is that because he's old? I don't know. But his reputation, it was a futile effort in terms of production. The only role player that did
get it done from the outside is Hachimura Rui, who had another solid performance. But he actually, most of his points did come after the game was already a 20-point blowout in favor of the Grizzlies. All right, last word here. So we've talked about the losers. What about the winners? Can the Memphis Grizzlies, without Ja Morant, doesn't look like he's going to play again anytime soon, can the Grizzlies bottle this effort again and recreate what they did in Game 2? So I am nodding my head yes. I am nodding my head yes. Memphis did not do anything special. They did not. They know the recipe to make the martini. They have the martini mix, and it's something that they did most of the year, and it's been the history of the franchise. Not that they're an exciting team and a team many people talk about. They're not a national team, but the grit and grind, that's their whole marketing campaign. And they certainly did that in this game. Defensive tenacity, perseverance. And the Lakers were horrific because the Grizzlies had this maniacal work ethic on defense. They were actually challenging the Lakers' shots. And it's amazing when you actually challenge the Lakers, they don't make shots. It's crazy. Like, they're terrible. When you actually play defense and put a hand in their face, they suck. They certainly did in this game. And it's been proven over the years that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And the Lakers had this entitled, like, we're going to win the game. And the Grizzlies are, as we said, they're done because their top player was hurt. That's the takeaway from Game 2. And the rising tide lifts all boats. And if you can play that way in Memphis, you can certainly play defense. What's the old cliche? Defense travels well. So you play that Doberman defense and win the hustle stats and deflect passes, contested shots. That's the biggest thing I've seen in all these NBA players. If you contest shots, these guys don't make shots. And I don't care who they are, whether you're your favorite superstar or your last guy on the bench. They very rarely make shots when you just contest them. But they're so passive. This passive mindset around the NBA where a lot of people don't do that. And you find a team that does it, and they don't make shots. You do those things, and you're fine. But I'll tell you what, the Lakers are in the danger zone here. Because when you go back to the first game, they were lucky to win Game 1, right? They were not clearly the better team. It was a 4-point game when Ja Morant he messed up his ankle and his wrist rather, when his wrist went like Gumby and did a 360. And so from that point, the Grizzlies crumbled at the end. If in a parallel dimension, Ja Morant does not twist his wrist the way he did, then he takes over at the end. Grizzlies win that game, and now they're up 2-0 at home, and then they have to go on the road. And instead, the Lakers are fortunate. They did get the win because of injury. But outside of injury, the Lakers would lose both those first two games. So the Grizzlies in really good shape, considering that they now have the recipe, that they have as we said, the martini mix, and they just have to go out there and recreate that situation again. And then if they can do that, and they can win in L.A. Lakers really don't have a home court advantage. Those phony Hollywood fans don't really intimidate anyone. Here is LeBron James. LeBron, who went into the bag of cliches to try to justify a pathetic performance by his basketball team.
No, it wasn't. Don't need to be a discussion. I mean, at the end of the day, we understand what a series is all about. I mean, it's not the first to one win or two; it's the first to four, and you got to prepare each and every game. Every game is its own entity, so you got to prepare for that challenge.
I love when LeBron does math. I love it. It's always fun when LeBron. This is the first to four. Yeah. All right, here's more. Here's Anthony Davis, the unibrow, who started the game 1 of 9. I'm told this guy's one of the top 10 players in the NBA, but he gets hurt a lot. But when he plays, he's unstoppable. 1 of 9 to start the game. And then he made some baskets when the Lakers were down by 20. Here is Anthony Davis pointing out the obvious.
We miss shots. They miss shots, and we only scored 19 points in the first quarter, which is not like us. So, we got to make sure we do a better job, but we'll be fine.
Is that a man that gives you confidence? Is that a man that sounds like he really cares? That doesn't sound like he cares, does it? I don't know. This is his tone of his voice.